Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Analytica. I HIMANSHU SHUKLA, welcome all of you. I hope you all are enjoying the session, all of you are utilizing it. Yes, many of you have approached and they are telling that the scores, the marks are improving in the case studies and in the tests. So that's very encouraging to know that. And once again, thanks to all of those who are following it regularly and posting their homework in the comment section. So that's again very encouraging, and it's very enriching, must be enriching for all of those who are following it on regular basis. So not only we are covering the case studies, but at the same time we are covering some static portions as well. Okay. Till now under this initiative we have covered the previous year question papers, or for that matter the previous case studies from 2020 and from 2019. From today we are starting with the questions, the case studies of 2018. Okay. So today we will start and see the question number 7. We will discuss on the question number 7, that is the case study from 2018 paper. Okay. So let's start. Let's have a look at the question and then see. First you pause the video in case if you want to read and give more time, and then go through it, try to attempt or at least brainstorm, then we will discuss it. So this is the question for you. Go through it, read it properly and analyze. Okay, so I hope you have read the question, and if not, then pause the video and go through it. Read all the points, all the sections in detail, then accordingly we will discuss. Okay, so here what is happening? Here Mr. Rakesh, who is one of the officer who has been given the responsibility to identify the beneficiaries for a particular scheme, and because of his good work, because of his qualities, he has been chosen by the government in order to choose the beneficiaries. Okay. So a certain set of criteria has been given, 4 to 5 criteria has been given, where on those lines Mr. Rakesh has to identify the beneficiaries. So what is happening? This some work has been given to him, and there is a set of criteria on which he has to analyze. But now the case study is presenting a different scenario itself, where an old couple comes and approaches Mr. Rakesh, and they are not fulfilling the criteria. Now the question is saying how Mr. Rakesh should respond, and certain problems has been given in the case studies. On the basis of that we have to take the decision. So now let's imagine that we, means me or you, now we are playing that role of Mr. Rakesh, and then what action we will do or what steps we will take based on our personality, right? There is no right and wrong, there is nothing like, okay, this should be done in this manner only, or we have to do this particular action in this specified manner only. Everything depends upon the personality, how we will approach this problem, how we will resolve this problem, what will be our reaction, what will be our attitude towards seeing this question or this analysis or this case. Okay. So based on that personality, based on that those qualities which we possess, based on that we will react. Okay. So what is happening here? Here Mr. Rakesh, he is responsible. He is a responsible person, he is a trustworthy, honest officer. So mention briefly about the qualities of Mr. Rakesh. Thus, because of his responsible nature, because of his trustworthiness and because of honesty, he has been given this responsibility, extra responsibility, where he, which demands, what it demands? It demands sensitivity, it demands empathy on Mr. Rakesh's part. Thus, what this case study present? This case study is presenting a scenario where Rajesh must show what all those qualities. He must show rationality. Okay, he must display his emotional intelligence. Then he must display problem solving skills. Okay, so problem solving skill, rationality, emotional intelligence, and then he has to also take decisions, quick decisions, because there is a medical emergency there. There is a need where medical emergency has to be taken care. So his quick decision making has to be done here. Okay, so these are the facts which you will write. You will write about the qualities of Mr. Rakesh. Then comes the question, what he must do, what he should do. Okay, so what should be done? How Mr. Rakesh should react. So here we will discuss many steps. One by one we will do. Okay, so step by step, what will be the process? Let's say even in our home or whenever we are playing any role or any responsibilities, if somebody approaches us with their problems, what we do? First instance or first step will be what? First we'll ask them to sit, or okay, we'll comfort them, and then we will ask them, we'll give a patient hearing to them that okay, now you tell me your problem. So here what we are displaying? Here we are displaying the emotional intelligence, the being a good listener, understanding others' problem by entering in their shoes. That is emotional intelligence, that is emotional quotient. So here we'll give a patient listening. So being a good listener, we have to listen to the problem, what the old couple has to say. Then okay, now we know okay what is the problem. We have given good listening, patient hearing to the problems. Now what is happening? Now you know that okay, they are old people and they must be having some documents. So we will check the documents. All the necessary and important document verification has to be done at our end. Okay, so in that document verification, what we will do, we will try to see what all available documents are there with the couple and where all it can be used, and with the help of those documents, what all can be arranged. Okay, so document verification or document cross checking will be done. Then we will also discuss, here there is a doctor in picture who is ready to do the surgery for free. So we when we are playing the role of Mr. Rakesh, we would also call that doctor to discuss the gravity of the problem, to check the authenticity of the problem, whether the couple is playing fool or making fool or not. So we have to check the authenticity as well, and most importantly we have to check how much time do we have in order to react or to provide the fund. So this also we have to do. What we have to do? Call doctor. We have to coordinate with the doctor and check three things. We have to check the gravity of the problem, we have to check the authenticity, and most importantly we have to see how much time we can buy in order to provide the fund. Okay, all this we have done. Next step will be, after listening to their problem, after doing this document verification and discussing with the doctor, we have to give them hope. We have to give them faith. Okay, don't worry, I am there. Or as an authority, the whole organization is there to take care of the problem. So don't worry at all. Your problem will be resolved. So when we say all these words, faith, hope, or when we comfort them that okay, someone is there with them, because in this case the old couple is not having any child, they don't have any, only they are there, they can't rely on anyone, they don't have any dependents. Okay, sorry, they are not dependent on anyone. Okay, so nobody is there to help them. When it comes from authorities, when Mr. Rakesh, maybe he is an IAS officer or whatever role he is there, maybe he is a CMO, whenever such people say something, then people will feel good. So that ray of hope, those words are important. Okay, so faith and hope, giving them comfort of feeling good that okay, somebody is there to take care. Okay, and that is the foremost responsibility of a civil servant, and that they have to be with people. Okay, that confidence should be there in the people that okay, somebody is there, officers are there, politicians are there to look after them. So that we will do. Okay, so after these 4 steps, now comes the actual part, which is looking after what all alternatives are there. Look for alternatives. Okay, when we are looking for alternatives, so what we will do, as why this question is there, why this dilemma is there? This dilemma is there because we have been given certain criteria, and within that criteria we have to identify the beneficiaries. So this criteria, or whether that criteria is getting fulfilled or not, we have to analyze that. So the case study itself is saying that except criteria B, that they doesn't belong to any, they don't belong to any oppressed class or depressed suppressed class. That, so what is there in front of us, that okay, this scheme on which Mr. Rakesh is working, that cannot be extended to the couple. When that cannot be extended, then what all we can do, we have to look for alternatives. When we have to look for alternatives, then there are 2 alternatives which we have discussed: extending the benefits of the present scheme on which he is working. So that is ruled out. Under that scheme also 2 steps are there, that is ruled out completely. And when other alternatives which we will look, and if that is not available, then we need to make representation to the minister, maybe health minister, in order to give certain exception, that to case basis, and especially in this case when there is no one to take care. Okay, so when there is no alternative, on the prima facie, we have we cannot give the benefit of this present scheme to that old couple, because that is ruled out. They are not fulfilling the criteria as per the rule. But we will look after the alternatives, and even if we don't get any alternatives, then we should, as a responsible officer, as a responsible human being, if I am in a capacity to help them out, I should make a representation to the minister, our political bosses, so that they can do something, they can give some one-time exception under that scheme or whatever. But before that, we have to look for alternative. So that we will see. So what are the alternatives here? First, we will look for other schemes under which they can be covered. So what are the schemes? Few schemes which we know, that one is NRHM, other very recently is Ayushman Bharat, under that PMJ, either you call Ayushman Bharat or PMJ, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. But under this Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, it is based on the recent socio-economic caste census, and it covers everything. It covers the the charges of hospitalization, the medicine charges. It also covered the previous illness if there is any. But you know, there is a trick here. There is a trap, not a trick. Today we are discussing this question in 2021 in March, so we are aware of this scheme. Okay, but this Ayushman Bharat or PMJ was launched on 30th September 2018, and this paper, GS4 paper, was conducted on 30th September 2018, and a scheme was launched on 23rd September 2018. Now just imagine when you are writing your mains, and one scheme has been launched about you don't know the features of that scheme, and this you have to write. So the chances, the likelihood, the possibility is less that we will use that scheme which has been launched 1 week before in our present case study. Okay, but yes, if we talk at present, then we can use that, and under that scheme that covers that gives a good coverage. Under that, this old couple will be covered and their problem will be resolved. So that is alternative scheme under which we can provide the benefits to them. So one is NRHM, other is PMJ, then certain state specific. Here the state has been not mentioned. So let's say we have to look the alternative schemes available being provided by the state governments. For example, in Karnataka, we have a separate scheme which is known as Arogya Shri. In Andhra Pradesh, we have Arogya Raksha. So they also provide holistic coverage. Okay, so we need to see where we can give the facilities, or what all facilities under central government, other schemes, or state government scheme which can be provided to the old couple. So that alternative we have to look for. Okay, let's imagine that this scheme, this option also doesn't work. We'll see. Parallelly, providing health benefits under a different scheme, there is one more scheme known as Jan Aushadhi scheme. So we also need to do the cost cutting. Doctor is already ready to serve or do the operation free of cost. When we take the help of generic medicines and all, then generic medicines, it will do the cost cutting on the out of pocket expenditure of the old couple, because then they need not worry about the costly medicines. So that is also one step which we can do, that is cost cutting by using the generic medicines. Okay. Then comes the third part. Here, third action which has to be done. Let's say this scheme is not working, Jan Aushadhi is not there. Now they need fund at any cost, and here in this case study the fund which they need is 1 lakh rupees, then their problem will be resolved. So we can rope in, as a responsible officer you can take the help of the local MPs and MLAs and ask them to give the fund under MP-led scheme. Your political boss, maybe the health minister who have appointed you on the based on the qualities. So you can request them to divert the fund from the MP-led scheme, or at MLA level there are schemes that can be used to provide the health benefits or 1 lakh fund to the old couple so that their problem will be resolved. Okay. Let's say this is also not working. So next step, that is your fourth step. What will be the fourth step? We can and we should rope in the NGOs, because NGOs, they are known as the fifth pillar of the democracy. So they also bridge this gap of development from between the citizens and the government. So fourth step should be roping in the NGOs. Okay. So we can take the help of the NGOs who are working in that particular field, and we can ask them to give the help, offer the help to this old couple. Okay. When we are writing this in exam, then we should know certain examples of the NGOs who are working in this field. For example, there is one NGO, Help Age India. So they are the leading charity working NGOs for disadvantaged elderly section only. They provide free healthcare services to elders only, especially who don't have any family. Okay. So Help Age India. So you can write such examples. Then we have a Smile Foundation. We can write their example that, okay, Smile Foundation, Help Age India, like that we can rope in the services of the NGOs to help the old couple. Okay. Let's say this is also not working. We have taken 4 steps, that is also not working. Fifth step, NGOs plus self-help groups can be roped in here. So we can club them. If that is also not working, we can go for crowd funding. Okay. Now it might be sounding absurd, but take the example from the officers who are guided by this these values of compassion, sensitivity, empathy, and they want to do something for the people. They use social media. They are using a newspaper for appealing to the common man. You take the example of Prashant Nair. He has started this initiative, Compassionate Cozy Code, where they are offering food to the needy people, to the hungry people. Then if you are aware and you know about Armstrong Pame, he was running short of the fund, and there was a 100-kilometer stretch of road was to be built, and government funding was not there, okay, or there was shortage of fund. Then he went for crowdfunding, and people, they offered fund, and that stretch was that 100-kilometer stretch was built, and it reduced some gap. So look into the details of the project, you will get. But taking learning from there, we can also go for this step. Okay. So use such dimensions to increase your dimensions, to increase the points in the diversity in your answers. We can take the help of those examples. Okay. So this was our fifth step. What else? So after this, I hope, as Mr. Rajesh, I hope that after this, some or the other way we will get funds, and that 1 lakh rupees will be arranged, and the old couple, the person will be treated, and they will be healthy. But at the same time, we have to take care of their medium to long term needs as well. Okay. So we have to look. Already I have done the cross verification of the documents, so I should know, or I can suggest him based on the documents that, okay, you are also eligible for the pension scheme under the Indira Gandhi pension, old age pension scheme. So that will be taken care. some monetary benefits, even though that is not sufficient, but yes, something he will get, something is better than nothing. Then there are so many old age homes, we don't know what is their condition. Let's say their condition is not good and there is nobody to take care, as the case study mentions that the couple is not having any son or daughter, they don't have any children. So at least when they will be there in the old age home, they will be taken care, okay. So somebody will be there to look after them. So basic need of shelter and care will be taken care. Also under PDS scheme, the Antyodaya Yojana for elderly people, for providing the basic need of food can be taken care. So we can offer them this scheme, we can extend the benefits of this scheme as well. If required, because of their problems, because of their old age and the health issues, if needed, we must also look for providing psychological counseling if needed. So these are the certain medium to long term needs which we should take care, and it gives a holistic coverage that okay, we are taking care of all kinds of needs. But yes, these steps if we take, it will not only take care of their present need, we are not focusing on the present needs we have covered, it will take care of their future needs, okay. So this is it with how Mr. Rajesh should react. Coming to conclusion, we have written introduction that what all qualities are being looked into this case study and what all it is presenting. Then we have looked into what Mr. Rajesh should do. We have discussed the steps from the immediate steps and medium to long term steps. Then we also at the end we must conclude the case studies. So in the conclusion what we will write that okay, whatever steps we have discussed, all those steps we should do or should be guided by the principles or the feelings of humanity, values of humanity. It should be guided by the principles of constitutional morality. It should be guided by the duty of an officer or the politicians, the executive towards the citizen, because they are the custodian for the welfare of the people, of the citizens. Then it should be guided by the principles of natural justice. Our preamble, our constitution vouch for justice. So we have to provide that justice to this old couple, right? So in the conclusion mentioned that whatever action I am taking or whatever steps I will take or whatever we have discussed so far will be guided by these values, principles or constitutional values, individual values. So end like that, okay. So this is it for the case study today. Now comes the most interesting part, that is homework. So what is the homework for today? Any guesses? So yeah, till now whatever homework we have given, it is something related to the case study itself, and based on the topic of the case study only we give the homework. So today's homework is that cover the static portion. In the comment section you have to mention 4 things about the old age population. So topic is old age population or senior citizens. You have to cover data related to how much population is there, old age population is there in India, and what is the future projection. One thing, these 2 data you have to give. Third data, any relevant data which you think is required for answer writing, that you have to provide, be it with respect to the health needs or health related data of the elderly people, or their contribution in the GDP or their contribution in employment, how much old are still contributing in the economy. It depends on that, freedom is up to you, that freedom has been given to you, that okay, what all data is needed. This is about data. Then we have to write second sub part of the homework is that you have to mention about the problems which the elderly people in India are facing at present, and you have to also anticipate the problems which they might face in the future. Let's say today maybe we are in 20s or 30s, we will also grow older, right? So what problems you have to anticipate and think that after 20 or 30 years what kind of problems we might face, or after 30 years for that matter. So write about the problems. Third section or sub part of the homework is that you have to mention about the steps which must be taken at different levels. Steps must be taken by the government in order to resolve the problems of elderly people, steps which must be taken by the family members or the society. So think like that, and you have to write the various dimensions for steps must be taken at different level. And fourth subpart is that you have to write about the steps which has been taken till date by the government under like legislative actions, schemes, different schemes. You have to mention different steps which has been taken till date for the welfare of the elderly population. So that's it. I hope you have understood these 4 parts of the homework, subparts of the homework, and I will wait for your responses. Let's give some interesting arguments, interesting ideas. Okay. So that's all for the today. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.